Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this week's edition of Bookbytes, bringing us to the tail end of Ramadan. We've had the pleasure of going through some really interesting new publications during the course of the month, and we have something very exciting planned for the rest of today, being the last session for our Ramadan season. I'm about to bring on the illustrator of a new and interactive and very informative publication called From the River to the Sea, which is a coloring book, I would say, not just for children and young adults, but for anyone who wants interesting information on some of the basic aspects of the Nakba, especially at a time right now when we're watching a live genocide taking place in Gaza and various aspects of Palestine. The illustrator behind this beautiful publication is Nathi Ngubane. He's a South African-based writer and illustrator. He grew up in Chesterville, a small township in Durban, KZN. After graduating with a diploma in graphic design from the Durban University of Tech, he landed his first freelance gig as a political cartoonist for the Daily Vox. We know Daily Vox brought out some really cutting edge material back in its day. In 2015, he was approached by the Citizen News with a position in political cartooning. In 2018, he resigned to focus on his brand Think Ahead Comics. His first children's book we heard about was Duma Says, Wash Your Hands, Wear a Mask, which was an informative text published in 2020, followed by Duma Says, Let's Live, a collector's edition with two more stories in the series. In August 2021, he released his latest book in the series titled Duma Says Your ABCs to Good Health. His work has been featured in Al Jazeera, BBC, Daily Maverick, New Frame, and others, and he is currently published by Social Bandit Media with From the River to the Sea. Welcome to the show, Nathi. It's wonderful to have you online with us.
Hi, Shafinaaz. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to talk to you this afternoon.
Now, you've had such a fantastic array of work, interactive material. Am I correct in saying this is not just accessible to children? How's your response been to your work?
First of all, my response has been quite humbling. And when we had the idea of creating this activity book, um, as we know about the atrocities that are happening in Gaza, Israel bombardment of the Palestinian people, so we wanted to help in a small way. And I guess you could say that the best way that we could think of is creating an interactive activity book. Um, s- because with social media, a um, we are a media collective that respond to, or rather intervene to pressing matters. Like you mentioned before about my previous work with Duma Says, educating children as much as possible. So with From the River to the Sea, we wanted to maintain that goal of again creating educational material for children by creating this activity book. And I've been so humbled so far about the reception that the book has received.
I know if we step back to the Duma Says collection, I mean everyone's heard of the Duma Says collection because you guys came in at the right time with this idea of empowering and encouraging children with pandemic material, how to stay hygienic, what to do. Our children were quite resilient through the pandemic, so you brought out these amazing images and these very educational, informative little books about health and about hygiene. I thought that was fantastic. Speak to us a little bit about that.
Oh, Duma Says was a an amazing project. If I had to go back, we went. It was in May 2020, 2 months after the pandemic hit South Africa, and my good friend and publisher Azad Essa contacted me with this brilliant idea of creating an educational children's book on the virus, because at that time a lot of children were told to stay home. We had a lockdown that really stopped us from interacting with each other. which was quite depressing, especially for me as well. I love going out and just interacting with people, and we came up with Duma says about this these children that are living in informal settlements, and our aim was to educate children on the virus and how to stay safe. At the same time, also educate children who are well off and children who who are not living in cramped housing. So our goal was to educate them and give them a glimpse to how other children are living out there and surviving and thriving in cramped housing. So that has always been like my goal as well as a creative, to represent children that come from disadvantaged backgrounds, because myself, I also come from that background. And with these projects, we make sure that we educate children and parents as well, because it's not just about kids learning. Sometimes we also need to learn as adults, and that has always been our mission. So Duma says has been quite successful. We've garnered international success. I've had a couple of interviews from Al Jazeera, BBC Africa, and that book as well has really, really done well. And it's always humbling just to see the work that we put out, because we try to, make a small difference in our communities.
And so, taking from your successful sort of, experience and adventure, I suppose, with the Duma Says series, it's just wonderful that you guys have now brought Up from the River to the Sea. It's a beautiful cover. If you can hold it up for us, so our audiences can see this beautiful cover. Obviously, it's a coloring book, so it's interactive. There's a lot of activities within it. How did you go about curating the material? And I love that there's a little South African boy and a little Palestinian child standing next to each other in solidarity, which speaks to so much of the solidarity coming from within our spaces in South Africa. And obviously, this is your act of solidarity together with Social Bandit Media. So, speak to us about how you curated the material, what you decided, and give us a taste of what's inside. What can we expect from inside this collection?
Okay, so the idea, just to talk about the cover, the idea was inspired by the people of Palestine and their history and their resistance and their plight for freedom. And the book was also inspired by those amazing South African lawyers that approached the ICJ in January this year, with accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza. So it was very important for us to show in the cover our solidarity as South Africa with the people of Palestine. We come from a rough history ourselves. We know too well oppression. We come from apartheid, so we can definitely connect with the people of Palestine immediately. Nelson Mandela also stood very, very tall, representing the people of Palestine, and showed his solidarity when he was alive. So we needed to create this powerful book that will not focus on how helpless the people of Palestine are, because they are not helpless. The people of Palestine are very, very, very resilient, and we wanted to show their resistance in the book. So, what you can expect in the book, you can expect to learn about the history of Palestine, the resistance of the people, their plight for freedom, their hopes, as well as the people like the journalists, the amazing journalists. There's this 9-year-old girl by the name of Lama, which I featured in the book as well. She's just amazing. She's very inspirational. She goes around interviewing young children like her about their struggle and about their experiences in Gaza. And so we featured her in the book. We featured the activists of Palestine, like Ahed Tamimi, a very, very inspirational young woman. We featured Edward Said, the literary icon of Palestine. So our whole focus was to teach the history and about the people of Palestine, and that the fact that we are not free until Palestine is free, and Palestine is everywhere.
Now, can you share your favorite image from the collection for us, from inside the
Um,
collection?
all right, so my favorite image would have to be, if I can view it, it will have to be the image of um, the 9-year-old girl by Alama Jamous, 9-year-old journalist of Palestine. And we had the pleasure of having her like the book as well. And for her to respond has been very, very inspiring for us. And that's what we want to do. We want to reach as many people as possible, and we want to bring a an awareness of what the people of Palestine are going through, and we need to, as the people, we need to connect together, and our voices can be really powerful if we band together. So that is definitely one of my favorite images in the book.
And from what I understand, this book has been selling by the thousands. They've had a current new print run done just before Eid. I've
Yeah.
been hearing great things about it. I know that Beitul Hikmah in Durban is just, sort of churning out copies and selling those copies. I do know also that you have a grand sort of that proceeds are going through to Penny Appeal and Gaza. Speak to us a little bit about that commitment that you guys have made.
Oh, so our commitment with Penny Appeal, we started working with Penny Appeal during Duma sales. And Penny Appeal has, we've really loved the work that they've done and how they've given to communities. And myself and Social Bandit Media and the team, the wonderful team there is, we all relate to giving to community and providing learning material to children. Um, so we needed to partner with them because they have an amazing project in Gaza. And just to uh, my publisher just gave me the latest update of how the book has been doing. So I just, in case I leave anything out, I just want to quickly say that we've already sold close to 2,000 books in South Africa in the past month, with obviously the proceeds going to Penny Appeal South Africa project in Gaza. We've raised donation for an additional 2,000 books for Penny Appeal South Africa going to kids in disadvantaged areas. We've also signed an agreement with 1,804 books in New York City for the book to be printed in the US, where it's being sold as close to cost as possible. So Social Bandit Media and Penny Appeal, we have the same vision, and our vision is to get these books to as many children as possible, and to educate children and let them know that they can also join the fight um, for freedom for Palestinians by participating in this activity book, learning a thing or two. And we've also left a space in the book for children to create their own murals as well to show their support. So that is our aim. And I'm really humbled and I'm very privileged and honored for the response the books have continued to receive.
Nathi, I'm very inspired by what you guys have done here with this book. I think that it will have great traction as it already has. There's no doubt that this is a book that will find its home in many houses around the world. And congratulations on such a fantastic project. I do wish you guys everything of the best. I know that people can go online to Hikma Koza and you can either buy the book. It's not expensive, 70 Rand, or 500 Rand for 10, which is perfect for Eid presents this Eid. So once again, thank you so much. I'm glad we had you online and heard so much about this great publication. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Shafinaaz, for having me. I really, really enjoyed talking to you.
Fantastic. Everything of the best with this book and future publications as well. And so there you have it, guys. We heard from Nathi Ngubane and Social Bandit Media about From the River to the Sea. Please do get your copies. It will make the perfect Eid gift. very instructive, very entertaining, and very informative, but also interactive for your children. So get them off the screen and get them copies of From the River to the Sea, the perfect gift for this year. And of course, you'll be adding your bid for Penny Appeals projects out in Gaza. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you.